Due to all the school closures, teachers have been thrust into the world of online teaching. The problem is many of us have not gotten any direction on how to do it, different resources, or how to prepare our students. Today I talk with Danielle Knight from studyallknight about e-learning and remote learning. Danielle has lots of experience with creating digital curriculum that can be used at home, and she's also very knowledgeable about learning and technology. I'm Chloe from Lucky Clover Writing, and you're watching episode 3 of Expert Educators. Hi, Danielle. Thanks for being on Expert Educators today.
Hi, Chloe. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Thank you.
So I'm really excited to talk to you about e-learning today, especially in light of everything that's going on. And I think it'll be really beneficial for teachers to kind of hear your expertise about e-learning and remote learning, because I know that you yourself have a lot of experience with digital products and figuring out kind of how to teach from home. So if you could briefly tell us who you are and just a little bit about your teaching experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Chloe. So my name is Danielle Knight. I'm formerly a high school special education ELA inclusion teacher. I also taught small group instruction for about 15 years. The reason I say I'm formerly is because I dedicate my time now full time to creating digital resources and blogging, and I got to enjoy going to some conferences in person and presenting, but now I enjoy most heartedly, wholeheartedly, the Teach with Tech conference, which is entirely online. When you know now these days, people are going to love attending conferences online, right?
Yes.
Okay, so while I was in the classroom, I experienced some changes where we were going to start having stations in the secondary classroom. So we were taking the elementary model and applying it to the secondary classroom, which was like a new concept, I guess, for us in secondary. This was like in 2015. So then I found myself developing a ton of resources where I was setting up a Chromebook at a station just to mix things up. And then eventually I saw my students wanting most everything to be tech infused or tech inspired.
Right.
So that's where I am today. Now, as far as like remote teaching and remote learning, a little bit of a new concept for myself as well. But I'm trying really hard to apply my classroom strategies to what students could use at home. But we all know it's going to be a different experience, right?
Yes. And I mean, for a lot of teachers, this is unchartered waters, people, and especially with, I would say, smaller kids or younger kids. I think it's just going to be tough even to hold their attention, online, or if you're
So,
talking.
I mentioned stations, right? And one of
Yes.
the best things about stations is they're not an hour long. They're created for movement. They're created for get your task, get your task on, right?
Yes.
You focus on a skill, you get up and move on. That's probably how we should be approaching the remote learning.
Right. Hmm. And it gets them moving, and they're not just sitting in
Or
front
just at
of
least
the
moving
computer.
on to the next topic or the next subject. Like
Right.
Chloe actually just witnessed my son coming in because he's remote learning, asking me after I read, Mommy, what do you want my paragraphs on? Now, his assignment was to write, I believe it was 4 paragraphs,
Mhm.
and they gave him a bunch of choices. So instead of having him ponder for 30 minutes over what his choices were going to be, I narrowed it down.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And I made it 2 paragraphs. And then maybe later we'll read again and we'll do the other two.
Yes. And taking a step back and then, away from it, doing something else, and then coming back to it. I feel like that would be more, what's the word? He'll be more focused, right?
Yes. And I think he'll be more engaged in the work.
Right, exactly. And he won't feel like he's, sitting down for such a long time doing the assignment.
Also, too, I would like everyone who's participating in watching you and I today to also realize that remote learning, it can go on for a longer period of time than we anticipate, right? So loading up everyone on days 1 through 5, maybe not the best idea, because it's either going to be a turnoff, burnout, kids get like, they don't want to, they become a reluctant. So let's start off with maybe like lesser, I don't know, and maybe build up.
Yes.
Like a marathon. You don't go out and run during training, right?
Right,
like,
exactly.
First day. Okay. So
Even,
that's
no, I totally agree. And I've actually, I got my master's online, and the first 2 weeks of getting, like, even for each class. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
So, oh yeah. Which I actually prefer, but I know a lot of people don't. But, the first 2 weeks of every class that I took, it was kind of, there wasn't a lot of work, and that was for a master's higher education class, and they didn't load us up right away.
Don't you think it's what you make of it too? So in my personal circles, anytime I ever said like, oh, I got my master's online, it used to be a reaction of like, oh, really? But now it's like, oh, that's awesome. I think, and then I always say like, I put so much work into it. I got so much out of it.
Yes.
I would do that again in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. I've considered, if, I didn't have to take out loans at this point, going back and getting, getting more degrees, because it is, at least in my degree that I got, which was educational leadership, I had to do field experiences. So, it was hands-on at the same time, which I think is totally something that you could probably incorporate into your students' assignments.
That's a very good idea, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that. I'm having a light bulb moment. I love that.
Yeah, like go outside and take a piece of paper and write a descriptive paragraph about a garden that you see. I don't know. I just made that up.
So I see online all the time. If you go on Pinterest, if you type in like free nature scavenger hunt, there's these cool sheets that kids can print out, or now you just open up on an iPad and they could just type right in it. And how many acorns can you find, or how many brown rocks, or how many points on this kind of leaf? Like there's just some cool things that you can look for.
Yes, definitely. And they're probably pretty easy to find. I have seen some free ones too on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's just like a simple little scavenger hunt.
That's actually where I think I got the one for my kids last, like spring, I think. I had the little guy. I have 2 little boys. One of them was working on it.
I actually, right. And it doesn't even have to be outside, which, I mean, maybe you want them to go outside, but I'm actually, one of my clients I'm making a video for today, I'm doing one of a scavenger hunt through the house. So, the kids have to go find certain things, even just in the house. So if
Can they find them and clean them?
Yeah.
Or put away. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
So your job is to find a pair of socks. Now, put them away.
Yes. Pull them and put them away.
Find all your shoes and put them away.
That's actually, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe
isn't it? I know.
Make that, and then let the parents have it, and then maybe they're, something good will come out of all of it. Okay, so what are your favorite apps or programs or resources that teachers can try during this time for e-learning, whether it's for video or just a way for students to turn things in,
Okay.
anything along those lines?
So we always go right to the ever so reliable Google Classroom. That is by far my top choice for um, giving out the assignments and collecting them. So, of course, Google Apps. So, I don't think the issue is what to deliver, it's how to deliver it.
Hmm.
Because teachers already have their content, they already know what they're covering in class. So, one of their goals should be continuity. So continuing your, follow along with your curriculum map. Don't go off and start providing busy work. Kids pick up on that. Like, I'll give you an example. Like a child will be like, wait a minute, I don't do word searches in class. Why do I have a word search? Now, that is a puzzle. That's great for critical thinking. That's good practice. But to a child that has never experienced that, they might look at it as busy work.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So Google Apps is awesome to take your paper resources that you would pass out in class and deliver it through an e-learning platform. Google Classroom is awesome for that. Now, should everything be assessed? At least be collected. There's got to be some kind of turn in. That's my opinion. Some kind of accountability, whether you just have a check mark that they turned it in. I would like to see things being assessed. My children think everything's being graded.
Right. And you can easily do that with Google Forms too, right? I mean, even
Yes.
if you just want to do a quick formative
Right.
assessment.
So I love Google Slides. I'm actually, when you and I conclude our discussion today, I'm going to work on a massive undertaking. I'm creating a digital version of a body biography that I have in my catalog. So it's been heavy on my mind where I'm like, how am I going to make this digital? So I drew it out. I drew it out and I kept scribbling. So finally I came up with my layout. I started my slides and today is the day I'm going to start putting it in place.
Okay.
So I'm going to offer it as a digital option with the paper version. So the teacher will have the 8.5 by 11 to print, but then they're also going to get the widescreen slides and Google Slides to send it out to their students electronically.
Okay.
And that's Google Apps. So another reason I love Google Apps is because they are now compatible really with most all learning management systems. They're you can download a Google Slides as a PowerPoint and upload it directly to Schoology, Blackboard, Canvas. What else we got? Um,
All, yeah, all the,
Nearpod. Yeah. So you can, there's no more issue or there should be no question in your head. Like, if I get this on Google Slides, how am I going to use it on something else? Like Notability. You can upload Google Slides right to Notability and to Cami app. There's in the app world, if you didn't get on board with that, you were going to miss out because has Google Apps. I really love Zoom, as you and I are using Zoom today.
yes.
We record lessons. And everyone should know this. I showed Chloe a little tip earlier, right? So
Yes.
Zoom has this really neat little feature. This is just for us teachers to know. It's a filter that you can touch up your appearance. It's just like, I call it the Kathy Lee Gifford filter. So it's like, it just softens you up a little bit. And then Zoom is just really simple too. You just click, record, download your MP4, and boom, you just upload it wherever you need to go. And the last one is that I really love that I think people should try that won't throw them off terribly is Google Hangouts. So to give you an example of how you could use Google Hangouts, today I offered my son to have a Google Hangout with some of his classmates. And I told him that I'll set up the link. We'll send it out to their parents that are home with them or whoever's with them. And you just have to click the link and you're in.
Okay. And then they can all just talk like they're in the same room, right?
Yeah, which, it's kind of funny because they'll probably all just stare at each other.
Yeah.
Right? They'll probably just,
Right.
they'll be like, what's up? What's up with you? What's up? What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. We're all doing nothing.
Yes. I can totally see that, especially
But
with the boys. Yeah.
if they all get together and watch someone play Fortnite, they're hooked. So, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm filming and my son just came in. And
That's
this is the okay. All right. So you want to exit?
No,
We're filming,
I
correct?
just have a quick question.
Okay, didn't I tell you this was gonna happen? Right?
you're
You
fine.
know what? This is actually really good because this is a live example of what it's like to teach at home, right? All right.
Yeah, very true.
I wrote one. What's the second one? What's the
So the first part is you're going to write yes, and the second part is okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Chloe, don't edit that out. That was live, everyone.
Yeah, I
That was
actually
real
wasn't going
life.
to. I was going to ask if I had your permission to keep it on. So.
Yes, that's fine. So then, I didn't mention this, and I should probably add it, is Skype is a really popular option too for communicating with students. I believe Skype is built into the Microsoft education platform as what they prefer you to use.
Okay.
I believe it's free, and I always see Microsoft Teams use it. So if you have to communicate with colleagues, that's a good one too.
It is free, and you can record.
Oh, you can record on Skype?
Yes.
That's
And
awesome.
And with Zoom, it kind of, what is it? When somebody's talking, it only shows their face, and then if somebody else, starts talking, and then it switches over to that person. But the Skype recording, it just has two people side by side.
Oh, that's awesome.
What about activities like digital escape rooms or kind of those interactive online activities?
So digital escape rooms, I love, like the collaboration value, you just can't match it. And to me, like, people are like, oh, that's too much screen time, but it's really not screen time because you're communicating, you're collaborating, you're using critical thinking skills. Delivering it through remote learning, though, is going to make it more challenging because of the collaboration part.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's terrible to give a digital escape room for remote learning and have the child work on it independently. You can do pair work and have them maybe do a Google Hangout and they can share a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You can't possibly monitor that, though. The children would have to do that together as a recommendation. You don't tell anybody to get together because of the, we have to be isolated.
Yeah.
But I would be pumped if my son said, I have to do a digital escape room today. That'd be awesome.
Yes. And there's even, I don't have any digital escape rooms in my own store, but is there really like a difference between a digital scavenger hunt and a digital escape room? Or
I guess there's, like, with the digital escape room, there's locks and you have to solve each one to escape.
Okay.
To complete it. I guess with a scavenger hunt, I don't even know what the prize would be at the end. Like, what would be the excitement at the end? That you're just complete?
Right. That motivation.
The motivation.
Or the engagement. Yeah.
I used to call them web quests.
Oh, yeah.
That was just more like questions, and then you find the answers, and there was really no prize at the end or like an escape or anything. Just the digital escape room's cool because of the gamification part, the different types of puzzles you can provide in the digital escape room.
Right. Okay.
Now, I do have to mention, though, because children are logging into their school networks at home to do a lot of their work, especially like if you're accessing Google Classroom and logging into school, they're not going to be able to access all the websites that you give in a digital escape room. So there's parameters. So you still have to be mindful of the firewall.
Okay. Right. I guess that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But like for my kids to go into Google Classroom, they go into their school district's website.
Okay.
And now they're on the network.
So for teachers and parents watching, where can, let's just say, the teacher hasn't assigned a digital escape room, but maybe, you want to find one or assign it yourself.
Right.
Where can they find something like this?
So, well, I'm always partial to Teachers Pay Teachers because I'm on there, and I love making them and putting them in my store. But there are free resources online. I believe Breakout EDU is an entirely free site. You can go on Pinterest and type in free digital escape room. Now, there's going to be different levels of quality. There's different levels of complexity. Like, I prefer ones that aren't just a Google form. I like the jigsaw puzzle. I like the video clue. Like, there's different. I try to make a puzzle that fits each type of puzzle. I just said that, but
right.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
Different types of puzzles for each lock. How's that? I don't want it to be the same. But I mean, if you just want a quick one, then find a Google form one.
Okay.
Yeah. But Breakout EDU is a good one.
Okay. Perfect. So now that everybody is kind of embarking on these e-learning days and this remote learning, what is the most important thing that teachers should be making sure that they're doing?
So there's a bunch of things, but my most important thing, I think the most important thing is access. Not only for the child, but for the educator. So both students and teachers need to be able to access activities, readings, passages, all materials. So does that mean everything has to be digital? No. And the reason so the school district should be making decisions based on like a parent survey or some kind of outreach where they ask all the families, do you have internet access at home? And we know the reality is not everybody does. Most families that don't have a computer, their internet access is on a mobile device.
Right.
This is not ideal to complete schoolwork on. High school students use it to do schoolwork. I still don't think it's ideal for them. The screen is so tiny.
Oh yeah, I prefer a computer. 100%.
Yeah, and they use Chromebooks in school or iPads. They should. I would like to know if they have one at home, and if they don't have one at home, then you have to provide a paper copy, hard copy. Send that home in a packet.
Okay.
So and also too, as the world goes paperless, having a printer is less important at home.
Yes.
Most teachers have a printer at home because that's what we do.
Right.
But there's a ton of people that don't. Like, I don't think my sister has a working printer at home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because what is she printing?
Right. No, that's actually a really good point. I didn't think about that.
Her child is in pre-K, so I'm hoping as he goes into kindergarten and first grade, she gets a printer. But not everybody has a printer, so you can't assume that you're going to attach something and say, "Hey, print this and complete it."
Yes.
You can't.
That's such a good point.
So a home technology survey would be really great if the school district would send that out. Or, if your school district's not sending it out, maybe you can send it out.
Right. And I mean, a lot of us are contracted to be working anyway, so just,
right.
I mean, if that's what you need to do, print it out, then.
I also think that I mentioned teachers should have access. Yes, you should. Mm-hmm. If you have bad, spotty Wi-Fi at home, You really got to do your best to try to boost that or try to improve it. I've been seeing a ton of opportunities in my Facebook feed that local cable companies are providing hotspots for internet access.
Yes, I
Like
saw that.
in New Jersey, it's Optimum Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I believe Verizon Fios has hotspots around. So if you are watching this video and you're concerned that your students don't have Wi-Fi, find out through the school district or find out from the local cable company where the hotspots are.
Okay. They have that.
Hopefully they're like in neighborhoods and stuff, so kids don't have to go anywhere, because we're not supposed to really be.
Right. And that would like defeat the purpose
Right.
of, if, go to this pizza joint and.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. My last question for you today is, why do you think educators should trust other educators for curriculum, advice, help, anything along those lines?
So I'm big with like going on Instagram and looking up like ideas for my hair, like how to style it, fashion and everything. Like those are like impulse things. We see something, we want it. So I don't believe as educators we should be listening to anybody else but our community as to what we should be doing, how we should be delivering the strategies, the tips, because we are the ones working with the children. We're on the front line. I always love that line. We're in the front line. Fight the good fight. Keep it going. And I love that tech companies are stepping up. The tech, the education apps, the education companies, they're providing a ton of free stuff. But those free things, they end. And we should embrace them, but you don't have to try everything. You should not be signing up for every free app you can find. You will be so overwhelmed. And those free promo codes, they expire sometimes after 60 days, 30 days. You're going to load up all these lessons. And then at the end of that trial period, they're going to want you to pay.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you should beware of anything you have to provide a credit card for. I've been caught up in those things, ooh, try this. And you're like, well, why do you need my credit card if I'm trying it? Because at the end of the trial period, they want to charge you.
Yes, and they don't warn you either,
Absolutely. And there's people that don't know how to get out of it. Okay. So they don't know how to get out of it. But just beware of that. So now is not the time to try a million things. If you want to try something new, try a new diet.
I'm actually doing that. Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, every day I wake up, I say, I'm going to work out.
No.
So, maybe now that everybody heard me saying it, I'll be held accountable.
Yes. But isn't Mr. Knight a gym teacher? He can make
it. Is. And
or phys ed. Yeah.
Yes, he's a phys ed teacher, gym teacher. So he started to use YouTube.
Okay.
So phys ed teachers in elementary school, they're held on a higher level. They are the most exciting people in the building.
Yes.
Because in phys ed, it rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we live in the town that he teaches in.
Okay.
So there's a ton of children around us that see him in different places and they get very excited, right? Yes. So I told him last week, I said, well, I think a fun activity would be for you to create some videos and our sons will help you. And they love filming.
Of course.
I have two self-proclaimed, video stars. They always want to be on YouTube. So why not, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, in one day, my husband's first video got almost 2,000 views, which I think is pretty neat.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So he already has the next few videos planned. Because I said to him, if you do this and people enjoy it, they're going to get they're going to want to see more.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, you're going to be lame. And so he's like, yeah, I have the next one's planned. So he'll be doing that. So
awesome.
Yeah. So that was my take on what you should be doing now and what you shouldn't be getting overwhelmed with. I was like, Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that makes sense. And when you do buy from other educators, like on Teachers Pay Teachers or sites like that, you have that curriculum for forever.
Yes.
It doesn't go away. So, and you don't have to, put your credit card in 2 months later to keep going with it.
No,
So,
you don't.
exactly.
No, listen, there's a lot of cool technology. I love some of like ThingLink. I love ThingLink. You can create on ThingLink, and guess what? It's free, and they're not going to take your stuff down.
Right. Exactly. So that is really good.
I've been using ThingLink for 2 years now. I have a commercial license with them, so my situation is a little different. But I know classroom teachers can use it for free.
Okay, and that's great because I didn't know that. I'll have to
Yes.
put the links down in the description of this video.
ThingLink, fun.
Awesome. So what is the best way if anybody has any questions or wants to discuss anything further, what's the best way to contact you?
Well, don't come to my house, because if you do, you'll experience a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old and my husband will make you work out. Well, then that
Maybe I
actually
need
might
to
be
come
fun.
over then. Yeah.
So I have a site, studyallknight.com. I do get some people that contact me through the site. I like when I get Instagram direct messages. I seem to get them fast and I answer them.
Okay.
Emails are studyallknight@gmail.com.
Okay. Awesome.
I like the Instagram direct message. I think that's a good one.
Yes, and that's kind of the fastest way to get a hold of people who have, lots of questions each day or people trying to contact them.
Right.
So it's quick and easy.
Yeah, and that on Instagram, Study All Night. I use Study All Night for just about everything.
Okay. And I'll have this up on the screen, but it's KNIGHT.
Yes.
Yes. So my very last question is, what's the big picture or what do you want to leave everybody with today about e-learning and remote learning?
So you all have the materials. You all have your curriculum. You all have what you are going to do in your classroom at this point. What you should focus on from now to when this ends is how you're going to deliver it and break it up into smaller segments. Don't overload a child with a 5-paragraph essay in one sitting. Maybe approach it, like we said earlier, with the stations approach. Maybe break it up. Maybe do a pre-write. Maybe do a brainstorm. Those activities will build up to the essay. Yes. Also, like I said, I just think that we all have what we were doing in our classrooms. It's just how to deliver it now in a different way. That's it. Right. And as teachers, who's better to figure out a challenge, right?
Right. Exactly. And that's one of the,
Don't you love that everyone's running behind me right now?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's the reality, of what's going on. So
hey, also I want everybody to just listen. There's not a ton of humor going around, but there are some really funny teacher memes I find.
Yes.
If you go on Instagram, if you type in like teacher meme for the hashtag, there's a lot of funny ones. And I like the ones that, teachers shouldn't be making $1 billion right now if they had to the way I had to just teach my kid how to do math. Or the math one with the carry the one. How do they teach the math now where you don't carry the one? I don't know. So I forget it. So anyway, there's some funny ones with that. Just how we all learned, how I learned things old school. We're all the kids are going to go back after this learning how to do it old school. Yeah,
and the teacher, yep.
Yeah, so I think so that's what I would like to leave everybody. You have the knowledge, you have the curriculum, you have the content. It's just delivering it now.
Yes.
Don't worry about what you're going to deliver. I'm reading these things. I'm like, you know what your content is. Just now we just have to figure out how to send it home.
Exactly. Right. And it
Okay.
might take a little bit more, instruction, but
Okay. Am I being a good role model now by ignoring the child behind me?
yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So that's probably it for me, Chloe.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
my
You're
troops are looking for me. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I love speaking with you. Isn't she awesome? We love Chloe, right? So thank you for having me, and please have me on again.
I will, for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the channel today.